Hello BookTube, this is Roz and this is another journey through books. I'm not too sure if that intro sounds corny or not. I'm working on it. I will let you know. Anyway, so here I am trying to do a sneaky catch up on all the BookTube videos that I haven't seen. You see, I come from a family where instant gratification is not something that we go for. The work comes first, the party comes after. And even though I've learned from my previous job that that's not the healthiest way to approach life, because sometimes the work just never ends, it's still something that I can't not do. I'm so programmed, I can't have fun if I've got stuff that I have to get done for work. So this was supposed to be a sly catch-up, and there I find that one of my favorite booktubers of all time has not tagged me once, not tagged me twice, but tagged me 3 times in 3 different tags. Well, for one, I've been caught out. Yes, I was not watching videos as they came out. Something I feel a little guilty for, but I'd have felt more guilty if I did watch them then. But a part of me feels like a 12-year-old girl who's just had Justin Bieber walk into her classroom. The internal squealing was astronomical. I was thrilled. We're now going to have a catch-up in. Yep, there we go. Oh, don't flash the crowd. The internal squealing was astronomical. I did not know that Steve Donahue knew that I was alive, let alone watched my videos, let alone thought they were anything worth mentioning. Not once, not twice, but 3 times. So here I am doing a belated March Mystery Madness book tag, because I can't not. Just picture a 12-year-old girl having Justin Bieber ask her to do something. You can't not. Although she should not, just for the record. So the first tag, well, the first one says, pick a book with green in the title or on the cover. Now, I've spoken about this book multiple times on this channel, but I've never, well, I've mentioned it. I've never spoken about it exactly or shown it. And it qualifies. It's green. And this is the #1 Ladies Detective Agency by Alexander McCall Smith. And there are more than one reason that I'd like to bring this up, besides the fact that it's very conveniently green and a mystery story. And that is where I really want to talk, because the title of this book and how this book has been marketed is leading it up to fail. Because although this is a detective agency, and although there are crimes that happen, this is not Kathy Rice, this is not Jeffrey Deaver, this is not Lee Child. This is very different. This is more of a character study of wonderfully innocent people in Botswana. It is Ubuntu in its true form. Ubuntu is an African word that means working together for the community. And that is what this book really is about. And yes, Mara Motswe does have a detective agency, and yes, she does solve the crimes, and she has a client that comes to her in every book. In this one there's more than one. But it's not an ongoing investigation with clues that you need to solve. So a lot of readers, I feel, are disappointed because their expectations and what they get are not the same, and it's not the book's fault. This book, for what it is, actually does a beautiful job, because it shows the beauty of African people, where you don't have all the negatives of colonialism and racism and crime and everything else that is dragged in. It's just the people in the most innocent, beautiful way going, and I would really recommend these as a read. The first few books are a lot stronger, although I'm about the 7th in, and I'm still not disappointed yet with them. And yeah, I would really strongly give these a go. The next one says, pick a book with Irish elements. Now, I could cop out and go for the easy one and go for Tana French, and if I did, I'd go for Faithful Place, because it was the most recent one that I read, and it's about an Irish Catholic family. But as I'm pretty sure everybody and their mother has read Tara French on BookTube, I thought I would stretch this one a bit. So I'm going to go with God's Gods by Terry Pratchett. What the hell does this have to do with Irish elements? This was my thinking. Irish, leprechaun, pot of gold. Dragons, gold. Gold! Not that any of the books I've read about Ireland suggest that there was gold. Anyway, so this is the first book in the City Watch series, in the Discworld series by Terry Pratchett. And this is the part of it that I loved the most. You have a crime that is going on that needs to be solved, but you have fabulous, fabulous characters. Sam Vimes is the leader of the City Watch, kind of like the equivalent of the police chief. And the book opens with us finding him passed out in a gutter drunk. He has other riffraff on the City Watch who are corrupt, cowardly. You know, they ring the bell quietly, you know, to make sure that they don't disturb any trouble and leave before any, you know, arrive. And then you have Carrot, who arrives. And Carrot in the beginning was just fabulous because he was so straight and narrow, and he was working according to the rule book, and this is what the rule book said. And he was a moral guy who, through his own actions, lifted the City Watch into what they become in later books. But I love the humor in this. I'm an English teacher, I don't need to say that again. Grammar jokes. Terry Pratchett uses grammar jokes. It kind of makes it worthwhile, you know, when you spend your life trying to teach kids grammar and you go, but they're never going to need to know what a noun is. But when you have grammar jokes, it makes it worthwhile. So I love it. And I thoroughly enjoyed this series. A friend of mine, I was busy doing fabric painting, a massive piece, and he was rather put out that I wasn't spending time with him, so he rocked up at my place and he he read these to me, and he read them brilliantly as well. And maybe that's a part of my fond memory, was having Garrick sitting there singing the dwarf hit song, gold, 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 or gold, 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 you know. So, but he just, maybe he was the tip of the iceberg that just made this fabulous for me. But the City Watch, the witches don't do it as much as the City Watch does it for me. I just love them. And they're crime, so that works. It's a mystery. Number 1 for the mystery category says, recommend a mystery you loved. And for this, I'm going to take you back to my childhood, because those are the mystery books that not only got me into enjoying mystery stories, but got me to love reading. And here I'm going to have to talk about Enid Blyton. The Famous Five, the Secret series, the Mystery series, all of them. I was absolutely convinced that we would all get to solve mysteries in our lives. And I remember being horribly disappointed when my grand's car was stolen and there were no tire prints leading to a car sitting somewhere in a convenient garage that was somewhere within the distance that I was allowed to walk away from this house. And but she captured my imagination, and she made me the reader that I am today from square one, because before then it was Noddy. So yeah, Enid Blyton, I have a lot to thank her for. And definitely when it comes to mystery stories, I think that's one of the reasons why they're still my guilty pleasure read. Air quotation marks, I don't feel guilty. Unashamedly, I enjoy mystery stories. And she's the reason why I really enjoy those, I'm sure. Number 2 says, name a mystery you're greatly anticipating. I'm going to give you 3 here. So the first one is, and this is going to shock the pants off of everybody who knows me in real life. This is by Dion Meyer, and it's Die Vrou in die Blou Mantel, which is Afrikaans for the woman in the blue mantle. And yeah, I want to work on improving my Afrikaans, and I thought the best way to go about doing it would be an Afrikaans book, because this way then I can actually look at the grammar as it's supposed to be, you know, because printed grammar is better than spoken grammar. And I'm really actually looking forward to it. Usually his books are really fat and really involved, And but I thought I would start off with a thinner one first, because I think this is going to take me some time. Not because I don't understand the language, I do understand the language, but because I actually want to take a look at the grammar construction of it at the same time. Wow, that sounds horribly nerdy, but it's true. So that's the first one that I'm after. The next one, I don't know if it qualifies as a mystery because it says thriller, but if I read the back here, it says Red Square, 1985. The naked body of a young man is left outside the walls of the Kremlin, frozen solid like marble to the touch, missing the little finger from his right hand. And that sounds completely up my alley, because not so long ago, before my Tudor spree, I was on a Russia spree, and this sounds like it could be quite gripping. But the book that I am absolutely anticipating to read is Dark Fire by C.J. Sanson. I found this last week, the second-hand bookshop, the animal welfare one, to be totally honest, and I was like, yes, I'm taking it, because yes, I'm taking it. Man, Matthew Shardlake, I loved the first one. I've heard people say that the series gets even better as it goes along, and I don't know how that's possible, so I'm really looking forward to reading this. The next question, name a book featuring a psychopath. Just as a side note. But the one I'm really going to talk about is this one, The Talented Mr. Ripley by Patricia Highsmith. I don't know why I'm looking, I know. But this book, you know, all books where you actually follow the psychopath freak me out. I am a goody two-shoes to the point that it's actually a fault. I'm boring to go out with. No, we don't do things like that. That's not on. It's not allowed. We'll get into trouble. Following a psychopath who's on a, you know, he's killing people or whatnot for his convenience freaks me out, because I'm reading this and I'm going, no, don't. That's not a good. What are you doing? Dude, you're never going to get away with it. Stop. Now what? Okay? So there is no way that I can honestly give you any recommendation on this, because my personal experience of reading this is so much more stressful than I think it's supposed to be. But I will say that if you think you don't need to read this because you've seen the movie part is up until about there-ish, the first half, and then it's different. So if you're interested, give it a go, if you don't mind reading stories where you follow crazy people. So yeah, I would give this one a go. It's interesting. It's weird, but it's interesting. And then the question that absolutely stumped me, because Steve picked Dick Francis, and that's the only one I could think of. So the question says, pick a book featuring a sporting event. Dick Francis. All of them except for Long Shot are about horses or horse racing or some connection to horse racing. Whereas everything else, I mean, I could think of The Power of One, it's got boxing, and don't let that put you off if you're not interested in boxing. It compares boxing to Mozart. It actually makes the sport seem a lot less barbaric. So I thought that, as on a light note, I could go with archery, ice trucking, or golf. And I can't explain any of those because they're spoilers. But that is as close as I could get to thinking of mystery stories of sport in, other than my Hardy Boys from my childhood. And while I absolutely devoured them as a child, I cannot tell you what individual book was about. But I know there was one with the Olympics, and there was one with car racing, and there was one with spelunking. It's actually one of the reasons why I'd recommend the Hardy Boys, because or at least the old series, because they broadened one's general knowledge. I mean, who knew that spelunking was cave diving until you read the Hardy Boys? Anyway, that's me done and dusted, and probably my battery too. Bye for now.